have a foundation that is inspired by my family and the mental illness that we've experienced, and we help others. It helps us. We hold fundraisers for it, and we just want it to keep growing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, our mental health programs are for those that have mental illness
Mhm.
and are suffering from either drug addiction or alcoholism or homelessness. And
Yeah.
that's miastjohnfoundation.org.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and we have people have been looking up to you for years and thinking, oh, that's what I want to do. But what you do is certainly much harder than people think. So what kind of advice do you have for people that want to follow in your footsteps?
As far as boxing,
Yeah, and also just in life in general.
well, as far as boxing, started at a young age. I started fighting when I was 6 years old. And I stayed in the amateurs for many years until I turned pro in boxing in my 20s. But the best advice I was ever given was by my mother, who said, before you turn pro, you have to get a degree. I don't care what type of degree, but you have to get a degree. So education is my best advice.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it's my co-host Drew Pearson is one of our great Dallas Cowboys. Caught the Hail Mary, went in the Hall of Fame, and he wanted me to make sure that I asked you both your Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it works out for you. What do you suppose that was for each of you?
Well, for me, it was, I'm a Hall of Famer as well. And
Yes.
when I found out that I was going to be inducted, I realized two things. Number one, that I had become a legend, which meant that I was old. And two things, that I made an impact on the sport, so I was very proud at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And what would you say your Hail Mary moment was? There's sometimes we have a few of them.
Yeah. Well, my greatest accomplishment is just working with my mom and our foundation and helping people. And my career is just starting. I hope to have a career in mental health and speaking out and just sharing my story as much as I can. So I hope that I have many more of those moments in my life and continue to have greater accomplishments.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit more about your story and how this all relates, because I think it's going to be really important for people to hear this and understand what you've both gone through, just so people can it feels good to share and hear other people's stories that are struggling with the same things.
Well, I grew up with mental illness, like my brother. His was a lot worse, and that led to drug addiction and homelessness and suicide. And I'm still here to tell and share my story. I grew up with anxiety and depression and low self-esteem, and I also battled with my own addiction and alcoholism at some point in my life. But I've learned and grown from everything, and every bad thing that I've gone through, every bad thing that's happened in my life, and every bad thing that I've done, I've learned from, and I'm a better person because of it. And all of that experience has made me who I am today.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mia, you've been very open with some struggles as well too. Is that hard also because you have a spotlight on you, or do you feel like this is a great way that you can actually help other people?
Yeah, I feel like after I lost my son, I went into a deep depression, and the only way out was to figure out a way to help others so that other families wouldn't go through what we went through. Suicide is something that you never really get over as a parent. You know, you're always thinking about what I could have done, what I would have done differently. That just never ends. And I want to be able to help other parents that are going through what I'm going through. And that's why I wrote my book, Fighting for My
Yes.
Life. Because I wanted, it was very cathartic for me, for one, but I wanted to be able to reach other parents, other families as well.
Yeah, and of course, in that book, you go through a lot of things, but are there a few maybe just highlights or pointers that people can really sort of take with them today when they hear this great message?
Yeah, I think number one, to know that grief doesn't always end. You know I'll grieve my son for the
Yeah.
rest of my life. And not only is it normal, but it's okay. You
Yeah.
know, as long as we wake up every morning, put one foot in front of the other, and just keep moving forward, you know. Yeah, there's a lot of times where I'm still sad and grieving, but there are also happy moments with my daughter, new moments with my daughter, you know, that I look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and we talk about that on the show a lot, that success mindset that you have to not only get in what you do, but stay in what you do. Is there something besides that you keep in mind for both of you that keeps you kind of on the right path even when the days are tough?
For me, it's just knowing everything that I've been through that's helped me, and just everything that I've learned,
Hmm.
and how much I've grown just looking back at
Yeah,
my life, and how far I've come keeps me going and keeps me moving
yeah,
forward.
that's amazing. And Mia?
Yeah, for me, I just, you know, remind myself that my son is still with me, his father is still with me, and I want to make them proud and, you know, respect their memory and their legacy. And that's how I keep myself going.
My
Yeah,
mom
absolutely.
keeps me going.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the blessing of having our family around when the times are tough, because we do, we all you struggle with things, and it's nice that we're in a time where we can be a little bit more open about these discussions, because I felt like it's a little taboo for years, right? Did you feel any sort of apprehension discussing any of this and bringing this out to light, or does it feel a little bit better for you?
For me, it's very cathartic, and I want people to know about my son and to remember my son and never forget what happened. You know, he died in a mental health facility, and um, they were found guilty of neglect and
Mm.
falsifying records, and we won our lawsuit. And I just want people to remember and to never forget. And for, you know, because of my son's death, rules and regulations were changed in mental health facilities across California. And so, you know, my son, his death led to these changes, you know,
Mhm.
which of course, you know, I'd rather have my son back. But if we can save other children from this happening, then I know that would make my son proud.
Well, I suppose that fighter mentality probably helped during all this time, right?
Well, yeah, you know,
Mhm.
my mentality is to never give up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and what a great career that you had. Is there anything you miss about being in the ring? Because sometimes people do, but sometimes people are glad to leave it as well.
everything. And I don't know any boxer, any fighter that will tell you they're glad they left it. If I could relive those years over and over again for the rest of my life, I would. But unfortunately, we get old and we can no longer compete, but I miss it every day of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a certain memory that stands out to you as sort of like the definitive career moment where you're just looking around and going, this is real, this is what I worked for, and I'll never forget this?
Well, it was the moment I beat Christy Martin, who I wanted to fight my whole career, and to beat her was amazing, was
Mhm.
incredible, and I'll never forget that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, are there any events coming up or anything else that we can look forward to where we could see you, and tell us how that we can help with the foundation and do anything that we can to make things better?
You can follow both of us on social media. We're always
Yes.
posting and sharing our story. Mine
Mhm.
is Paris St. John, and hers is Mia St. John Boxer. She mentioned her website earlier, miastjohnfoundation.org. And what do we
You
have
can follow
coming up?
us on Instagram at Mia
Yes.
St.
Just
John
said that.
Boxer. I know, but you didn't say Instagram.
Oh, I didn't say Instagram.
Yeah, and on X, of course, at Mia St. John Boxer. And yeah, like my daughter said, you can follow her on Instagram as well, Paris St. John. Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
And-
We
on Amazon.
yes, definitely. Well, we are so blessed to have you on with us today, and thank you for helping to spread a positive message and to do something that will help others, because we need more people like that in the world. We really, really appreciate your time and look forward to talking to you again sometime very, very soon.
Okay,
Thank you
well,
so
great.
much.
Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.